Yo, what's up, man? You know what's going on, man? It's Phillip Boyd, aka Big Phreeza, A&R of Engage Records, which this interview, sit down, whatever you want to call it, is also presented through Engage Records. I'm sitting here with Engage Records recording artist, the Kyren Monteiro.
The big one, not the little one. Ain't that what they say?
Hey, that's what they say, man.
And he's not A&R Engage Records. He's A&R director of Engage Records.
Excuse me. Put some respect on it.
I ain't gonna say it no more.
Okay, you got it. You got it for sure. Is we finished or we done already?
What's happening, Big Phreeza? How you doing,
man? I'm good, man. How you doing, man?
Man, bro, I'm blessed, man. Yeah, we currently recording this a month out, almost. Yeah. What is today's date?
Today is the 24th. Excuse me, 24th.
Yeah, October 24th, man. So we coming up on a release of release of my new album, Visionary, man. And I'm excited, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of Visionary, we have this in vinyl. Disc. Yeah, we got this in vinyl.
12-inch LPs, man.
These are these are
pre-orders coming soon.
These are pretty cool, guys. Like, let me see. Like the color grade on this. You know,
salute to my guy Dan Overby, man, on the graphics, man.
Yes, sir. The front of it. There's the back. You know, it has everything going here. Mind if I go over the back of this?
No, go ahead, man.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna get a track list out, even though if you have pre-ordered, pre-saved it on any digital platforms, streaming platforms, they're there. But I just want to go through the back of this to show that this was something that we sat down and talked about. You were in, I guess I can hold off on this for a second.
I'm about to say,
how we got there.
Yeah, we got to tell the people
how we got there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just from how we got there, I would say I think you was we was thinking about doing Broken 2.
Yep. Oh, he giving away all the songs. Okay, yeah, we taking
it there. Okay. I mean, I think we was going to do Broken 2 and
which I still want to one day.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's not off the table.
Yeah.
Not off the table at all. But I think where we were at that time, what we were thinking about doing, what we was trying to do, the things we was trying to accomplish, I think that once we was like, yeah, we can do a Broken 2, but you also had been thinking about doing Visionary. Like, this wasn't a flash in the pan thing. This was something that had been on your mind prior. You was kind of in between Broken 2 and just doing Visionary, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, sometimes when I work on albums, I am 2 to 3 albums ahead, like, of what's in me, and when I'm working through. So I think to take it back before this, my last album came out Black Friday of 2019.
Yep.
Called Broken. And if people will catch on, we're releasing Visionary Black Friday of 2025. So not only an anniversary of Broken, but these are forever linked.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
On purpose. So yeah. I think, I wanted to do Broken 2. Shout out to my guy, Johnny Lovely, who produced half of Broken, the first one. And so we was going to run it back instead of Visionary, but I just think it's just a divine thing from God. I just don't think that's where I was supposed to go. And so I remember you challenging me to hit up, this guy we know that make beats named Zero the Composer.
Yes, sir. Shout out Zero.
Grammy Award-winning music producer out of Indianapolis, Indiana, who has worked with a lot of people in the industry. And so me and him had talked about doing some stuff. And I just felt like visionary was what I was supposed to do. And you know, we ended up hitting them up initially for some work, a couple of singles for an Engaged Records recording artist named Daimon Knee.
Yep, for sure.
Which both of those singles are out now, and that happened to be a song called Hostile,
yep.
And then another song that features myself called Stop Us, which is available on all major streaming platforms right now.
Yep.
And DaimonKnee.com, y'all can check him out. But so it started out with that. We had already had a beat in the vault from Zero, which was called Go, which actually ended up being the song on Visionary called Takeoff.
Yep.
And so we ended up getting 9 more beats, and was just like, we got a Zero album.
Yep.
Listen to a whole bunch of beats to put together an album, and I've never worked on an album like this, man.
Different beats, different list of how the song, the track list order. Like, I think I probably had like 20 of how the order of the track list.
Yeah.
I think I had probably like 20 different lists. And then you sent me a couple. I liked a few of yours. You liked a few of mine. But then you set it up. And mind you, that was my first time really sitting down and doing something like that. So I think that I tried to do too much at first.
Yeah.
So, because we was trying to keep it away from it, like sounding like a mixtape.
Yeah,
like this is an album.
So by the way, Big Phreeza is a brand new A&R director, A&R manager, coordinator. Let's just say A&R. He's new to the game, new to the music business. So what you're looking at is an athlete. So somebody who normally is running a record label doesn't go to somebody who's an athlete and say, be an A&R director. Yep. That doesn't, even small independent, it doesn't happen. Sure. And so I think I appreciate you coming on at the top of 2024, and slow grind, but it's better than no grind.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've had some progression. But I think for people to really understand like visionary, if you don't mind, I'm gonna read them the textbook definition.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Of what a visionary is, and this is from the press release. But a visionary is defined as an individual who thinks or plans the future with imagination and wisdom, often possessing original and creative ideas about what the future could be like. They can see beyond the present, anticipate what's next, and inspire others with innovative perspectives. Kyren Monteiro's Visionary album embodies that spirit, delivering a message rooted in the idea that certain individuals are uniquely created to lead and build visions that benefit culture and the world. Right? And so, it's a great way to put in a press release. But I think oftentimes when you hear people talk about being visionaries and stuff, it's sometimes often perceived as being an entrepreneur or a business owner, but that's not the only way that you can be a visionary.
Piece of it.
I feel like, to me, divinely talking about being a visionary is about you operating at the highest level in your gifting and skill set that God has called you to be. I feel like everybody has something to contribute to the world and society at large. And I feel like people spend too much time on their knees praying instead of on their feet racing and executing what they're supposed to be about. And so, of course, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm talking that kind of boss talk. Mm-hmm. I'm talking that leadership kind of talk. But it doesn't mean that just because that's my journey, it has to be other people's.
Right, true.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give people something that could inspire them to operate at the highest level.
At whatever they want to do.
Yeah, man. And so, I wanted to make that album. So I just wanted to throw that out there so people understood what what that is about. And even if people look up the album cover, right, you have, salute to my guy Dan Overby on the art direction, you have this V-shaped Trinitarian logo, right? So you have this triangle in a V shape, so obviously stands for visionary, but what the triangle represents is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So in the Christian faith, obviously that's God, right? Representing the Godhead. So what that's representing is basically God is the ultimate visionary and has instilled vision into everybody that if we tap into, not only do we bring glory to him and do we honor him, but you make the world a better place. You open up opportunities for people around you. When we all are doing what we're supposed to be doing and walking in our purpose, to me, that's, you go to the grave living the ultimate life.
So where do you think that journey started for you? Not entrepreneurship, but
you talking about just in life,
just
period.
in life period, the visionary, when you was like, all right, I'm really gonna take this to a whole nother level than I've been sitting here at. Not that it was a bad thing.
I think like the intro on the album comes in. So me and Phillip grew up here in the city of Man, Indiana. My pops, the late great Elder Grady Speed, my pastor, known as a legendary Pastor J.D. Williams, who I was raised under, coming up, who is no longer with us. My grandmother, the late great Janice Major, maiden name is Jackson. My mother, and just so many other people, mentors, current pastor, Pastor Benny Powell, senior at Greater Second Baptist Church. Just so many people throughout the years, man, who have poured in. But ever since I was younger, man, anybody that knows me know music was the path.
Yeah, true.
Rather it was on the drums, rather it was producing music and making beats, rapping. Everybody knew that. But seeing my dad rap at a young age was crazy.
Facts.
Right? So we talking about the 90s where Christian hip hop, because that's the word I come from, Christian hip hop, a hip hop that is reflective of faith, it's not popular.
True.
It's not looked at as cool. And it's a weird place to be in because the church looks at it as devil music.
Yep.
And the world looks at it as church music that's corny.
Yep.
So you don't really have a home.
Right. Yep.
So we're, it's like you don't really fit in with Kirk Franklin and you don't fit in with Jay-Z.
Right.
Or a Kanye West
Right.
or a T.I. So where do you go? So it's just seeing him be revolutionary in the 90s and early 2000s was just crazy to take poetry, rap, hip hop, and infuse that into sermons.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Even performing what was known as the Crown Mass Choir back in the day, huge choir, best choir in the city back in the day.
Sure.
The old hymnal, Do Not Pass Me By. I remember we didn't even have drums at the church. We didn't even have drums at the church. So in my city, there's this legendary pianist and organist named Mr. Looney, Mr. Ed Looney.
Yes, sir.
And he played at the church at the time on a Hammond organ, which if anybody knows about a Hammond organ, this is the sound of the black church. This is the Pentecostal Baptist, all of that.
Yeah.
Praise break, shouting and all of that. That sound is huge. So if y'all hear a Zaytoven beat with the organ, that's he's a church musician.
Yeah, for sure.
So we didn't even have drums at the time. So Mr. Looney had to play a beat that was programmed on the organ. Like them old whack beats, because we didn't even have drums.
Yep.
And I remember seeing my dad rap with the choir, and I was just like, yo, this is crazy.
Different.
Because the only thing that we seen at the time is like, this is 90, so you seen Tupac, you seen Biggie, you seen Nas, you seen Outkast, you seen E40 and Snoop. So
DMX.
DMX, you seen Cash Money Records and No Limit Records and Rockefeller coming around and like, so you Wu-Tang, all of that type of stuff. You like, you don't really see anything in mainstream culture about this. And the first group that I actually seen in mainstream culture was a group named Cross Movement. And they eventually started they were called The Cross Movement. And eventually they started a record label in the early 2000s called Cross Movement Records. And there's this guy some people may know named Lecrae, right? Yeah, so sure. he came out, well, let me be real. He did a JV, he did a joint venture deal because he has his own label, Reach Records. Right. But there was guys like Flame, The Truth, JR, who goes by Courtney Orlando, but back then he was known as JR. There was a group called Everyday Process. There was a rapper named R. Swift. They were from Philadelphia. They were from the East Coast. And so back at that time in the 90s, you got to think it's East Coast rap running it. Right. And you got like Wu-Tang and a lot of New York dudes, a lot of 5%ers in hip hop. True. So they kind of gave 5% of energy, but they were Christians. Right. Yep. And so I remember them performing on Bobby Jones Gospel Sunday morning on BET. And that was that was the first time I ever seen anybody doing that. I mean, besides Kirk Franklin having Stump, and having like Salt and Pepper, I think on that song, if I'm not mistaken. One of the chicks from Salt and Pepper, maybe on Stump. So it's a famous female artist. Yeah, maybe. There was also this group named DC Talk with Toby. Man, I didn't find out about them. And so before Cross Movement, the closest thing I seen to hip hop being mixed with anything faith based was Kirk Franklin. For sure. State property, for sure. I mean, not state property, Jesus. God's property. Yeah, you gotta be a hip hop fan to know that's state property. But yeah, man. Keep so in there. I knew that coming up, I was gonna do something in music. So as a young boy, I had the vision, but I think it really became apparent once I was in high school. My sophomore year, I started, I was producing. But at this time, I'm in drumline, but I'm starting, and I was real serious about drums and producing music. But obviously, I always rap. We battle rapped in the lunchroom. Right. Everybody always knew me as, used to call me Lil Grady. They knew me as Grady's son. I was a shadow. But high school, I started coming into my own, created a stage name called The Messenger. DA space Messenger. So I'm formerly known as The Messenger. Did a lot of touring. I think I released like 6 albums and 2 EPs. A very large catalog. Yeah, 6 albums, 2 EPs. Yeah. On platforms, it's 5 albums and 2 EPs. But if you count the first album, which really was a long demo called Spiritual Walk in 2007, it would be 6 albums and 2 EPs. So I think what really started getting that kicked off was in 2006, my pops had cancer. Got diagnosed with cancer, and we found out that, and of course you grew up with me, so that was a rough time for our family. Yep. That was real rough. That was man. I think it was rough. It was for like the whole church. Yeah. Like that really. Yeah, I can remember that shook. Because let's be real, especially back then, there's not a lot of cancer survivors. And he had bone marrow cancer. So first they thought it was leukemia, which is very similar. I remember that. Yep. And so bone marrow, like there's not a lot of survivors. So we it was almost crying for his funeral 3 years before it happened. Because it just was changing. It was a lot, man. And so, I'm practicing drums at church. Yeah. It does nothing for me emotionally. Yep. I'm banging on my keyboard so hard that I broke one of the keys. I remember that. On it and had to tape it down. Mm-hmm. And yeah, making beats is not working. Playing drums is not working. And so I tried one thing where I could actually express how I was feeling exactly, and that was writing. And so those beats that I was making, I started making songs to them, I started performing them at our church.
True.
I had already been doing it, but there was just a certain maturity level.
Yeah, for sure.
All the little guys around the time that was trying to do Christian rap, this situation made my content way heavier than theirs.
For sure.
It went from like fun, cute youth group, we gonna stump on the devil to like, I'm dealing with real life and I'm putting it in music.
Right.
And so, talking about it rocking your faith, questioning God, financial challenges, like all of this is in the music as a 15-year-old kid.
Yep. The oldest.
And so I did that. I started performing them at our church, Greater Second. People started going crazy about it. Shout out to this guy named Dwayne Choice, who was at St. Paul Baptist Church at the time, who was a youth pastor, legendary to our generation, huge impact at the time. He was always a huge supporter of mine. So I started rapping at that church. People loved it there. Shout out to Pastor Mike Hofer, who was with Indiana Wesleyan University.
JC Body Shop.
Had a youth ministry called JC Body Shop. He was a youth pastor.
Legendary.
So we started performing there.
Yep.
Lakeview Wesleyan Church, they had a youth ministry, and they had a guy named Brad Terhune, and another guy named Anton Foltz. At the time, neither one of them are currently there. But so Greater Second Baptist Youth Ministry, St. Paul Baptist Youth Ministry, Indiana Wesleyan's Youth Ministry, JC Body Shop, and Lakeview. I'm starting to rap at all of these. Like, not just on Sunday, but like through the week.
Yep.
So that stumping ground was the birth of the messenger.
The messenger, for sure.
And it spread to other cities in Indiana, and then the Midwest, and then abroad. And before I knew it, I had people demanding music.
That's true.
We were doing shows. I opened up for Lecrae the first time, 15, 16 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, I came to Marion twice, and then came to Warsaw, Indiana. So I rap. I'm opening up for them, other legendary cats like K-Drama and D-Mob, who are legendary Christian rappers. Like, I'm doing big boy stuff in high school.
Yep.
And people have no clue. Like, on the weekends, I'm like, kind of like having this little bow wow experience of Christian rap.
Yeah, for sure.
And then coming to school just being Kyren.
Yep, for sure.
Weird.
With the polos flipped up.
Yep. Like thinking I was Kanye West, and had no album out at the time.
No,
and I'm gonna be real. At the time, MySpace music was crazy.
That's a fact.
People don't realize MySpace music was really, bro. We was working that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, we was talking to promote. We was working that thing, bro. Same way people working Instagram and.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
TikTok is a little different, but the same way people working Instagram and Facebook and social media, we was doing that to back MySpace music. So to answer a long question, man, I think that visionary really got birthed in me my sophomore year in high school, 2005. When I created The Messenger, tried getting signed, nobody would sign us. Nobody. No disrespect to none of the top Christian rap labels at the time, but nobody would. So my dad was like, well, look like you gonna have to start your own record label.
Yep, sure.
And so 2006-07, my senior year, I started working on my debut project called Spiritual Walk. Now, this wasn't professional. The quality was terrible. It was really a demo. It was a demo that was too long because it was 10 songs. But we started doing that, and I was just like, well, how's it gonna come out? We got to start our own record label. So I started at the time what was called Holy Soldier Records, which we changed the name to Engage Records in 2013. But yeah, I started it. I started an illegal company because I wasn't even 18. I was signing.
I guess so.
I was signing contracts for shows and issuing contracts.
That's true.
From the company, and I wasn't even 18 yet, so they couldn't even legally stand up in court.
Yeah, true.
So I was a legal sole proprietor at the time.
You're visionary at a very young age.
Hey, man. So I mean,
how you get it?
Yeah. So yeah, high school was where that really
took off.
Really took off, and then things just start forming from there.
And that brings us to where we are now with just give me.
What's a lot that happened in between then, but
it's true.
Yeah,
but just to bring us to this point, like you said, we're a month out from visionary. What are you expecting what are you not expecting? What do you hope this would do for someone that's going through that at 15? I would say, what would you tell your 15-year-old self now? But I guess I kind of can. What would 35-year-old Kyren tell 15-year-old Kyren?
He just gonna drop my age like that. Womp womp. He gonna drop my age like that.
25.
No, I'm 35 currently. I was born May 10th, 1990.
Because I know in between there's like you said, there's a lot.
Yeah. What would I tell myself at 15? Stay out of trouble. Quit trying to be the class clown. Lean into your gifts more. The thing is that I grinded a lot between drumline, between playing drums at church, doing music and doing that music.
You ran cross country too.
I stopped that at high school though. I was trash at cross country. That ain't part of the vision.
It's just something that took, something that had to happen.
It was the only sport I didn't have to try out for, so I accepted it. They wouldn't have set me in basketball, football. I think I had an audition to be the water boy in basketball. I was so trash. So nobody accepted me anywhere. So cross country was just like, yeah, we it was just like Christianity, like, come as you are. And I came slow. Slowest runner on there.
Oh man.
But man, but what I think what I would tell my 15-year-old self is stop trying to be a class clown. Being a class clown got me into a lot of trouble in middle school and high school. Just a lot of dumb stuff. A lot of small dumb stuff. And just be true to yourself. And you don't have to try to prove anything because people see you as a preacher's kid and a church boy.
Yeah.
Just be who you are. Outside of that, I mean, I was doing what people advise grown visionaries to do, right? But I was doing it out of desperation.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was getting mentors.
Yeah.
First off, my dad was that. Yep. So I came up in mentorship kind of fashion. But I was reaching out to K-Drama. I was reaching out to D-Mob. I was reaching out to, there was a guy named J-May back then who had a record label named Double Edged Sword Records. And besides like Reach Records, Lecrae's record label, and like Crossmoon Records back in the day, there was other like Lamp Mode Records. There was others, but he was one of like the smaller independent record labels. He had a distribution deal. They were going to like big studios in the area. Like the website, like everything was just like, it was top notch. And so I reached out to him first trying to get a deal.
Right.
And then when I knew that wasn't working, I was just like, well, let me at least pick your brain.
Yeah, pick your brain, for sure.
And he was the first person to actually give me a record label template contract and actually cut a check for $250. And when he mailed the check, it was like, it had their label logo on it. Like how you get from a job, like cashier's type check. Yep. And I was like, $250 as an unemployed senior in high school. Shoot, grown people are like, you cash out a grown person $250
right now.
So like, so yeah, man. So he did that, and I think I would encourage myself to just stay out of trouble, and lean into my gifts more. Stop trying to be a class clown to fit in, I don't know if I want to say it was peer pressure because I've always kind of been.
No, you. I wouldn't say peer pressure.
I've always been a leader.
Yeah, and I
sometimes in bad ways though.
Oh, for sure. And I don't want to say it was peer pressure. I think it was maybe just like, hey, like I'm not too as far removed from y'all as y'all think. You know what I mean? Like you said, you just automatically get that tag. And I understand because we're similar, except my dad wasn't, my grandfather was.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Reverend J.D. Williams.
Yeah.
Jeez, I was going to say, boy, that's my other grandfather.
Yeah.
But, excuse me. But even that, like you said, tell yourself to stay yourself. I've always been myself. And I think, basketball helped. Like, let's just be real. Like, it helped. But even through all of that, I'm 33 now. Like, I'm still my core is still, I'm still Phillip. I done evolved. I done became a man, kids, you know, everything. I done evolved into a more mature version of me, but I always stayed true to myself. And I think
for sure
that you got you through a lot because there's some, like you said, a lot of stuff happened between now, from then to now. And in that, you still just remain, like you never lost yourself. I just say from my eyes, I don't want to speak for you, from my eyes, you never lost yourself. I've been there through pretty much a lot of the stuff that you've been through.
What do you mean by never lost yourself when you say that?
Like you said, like you never conformed to what everybody was. Like everybody went left and you the last one to go and you went left just because everybody else did.
There were certain activities that I've done.
I think that comes with maturity though.
I would say the one thing that I did fall into heavy, and I've talked about this on Wax Music and Podcast, is definitely like the struggle of women.
For sure.
And like sexual temptations and sin.
For sure.
That was the one thing, like I came up with cats who was athletes, and so they were ladies' men.
It seemed, in your eyes, it seemed easier for them.
Nah, man, I was always popular, but like, you know, I'm a man's man, so like, right. I seen, you know, coming up who don't want the pretty women to like,
right, for sure,
pretty girls to like them, for sure. So, and so I always like envy my you know, some of our homies for being. Man, you an athlete. You know what I'm talking about, boy. Y'all basketball players and football players with something else. I'm an
A&R.
Okay.
Not an athlete.
Former athletes. Y'all former athletes or something. And so seeing how I don't know why I wanted that attention from women so bad. I do know. But at the time I didn't. Right. But it was something that I was like the bro. I was somebody that was cool. Like I made them laugh. I was funny. I was the homie.
It's just light skin really wasn't that then. Cause
hey man,
I think
I'm dark skinned at heart.
Hey, Bobby Beige.
This dude. So yeah, man. So high school was that turning point, and I think looking back, I would just. And if I was talking to anybody else young wanting to be a visionary, I would say mentorship.
Don't be afraid.
Go get around people who are in the field of what you want to do. And
especially this day and age, right? Like we didn't really we go ask for information from some people. They might just be like, they might shoo us off now. Like the access to information is a lot easier than it was. So if you had access to the information at 15.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you can figure out whatever you want to, you can figure out pretty much whatever you want to figure out now in 2025 and beyond. Cause it could be 2026, 7 or another year. Somebody listening to this, watching this video.
True.
Yeah. With technology now, you can figure out anything. So yeah, I would say, but I appreciate coming up.
Journey through it though.
I appreciate coming up the way we did because it was tactile, it was ergonomics to that world. There were certain skill sets that you had to develop.
Yeah.
Learning how to communicate, learning how to work a room.
Yeah.
So,
which you see kind of lacks in some areas, and I'm just gonna keep it on music, but you can see that there's not many A&Rs anymore. There's not many, like, the people running the labels aren't really music heads. Like, this is a business. And it's a business, and it's a business. The music, it is what it is, but this is a business. So I think that if more people knew the information of that before they get into it, like, let's say this was like this when you was 15, but you still had the same amount of information you can get right now. I think that, like, what do you think do you think you'll still be here with Visionary, or do you think you'll be somewhere else? And I don't mean just like here in a you know what I mean, like career wise, in everything, producing everything. Like, if there's, I guess I'll put it to you like this: if there was something that you could take from now and take it when you was 15, what would it be? Give me 2 things that you could take in 2025 back to when you was 15. And how would that have shaped you then to now?
I'm about to sound like the PKs that we are. The Bible says that all things work for the good of those who love God, those he called, he foreknew, he justified, all of that. So for me, I would change nothing.
Okay.
Everything good and bad, my wife is trying to FaceTime me. Everything good and bad, I would change nothing because it shapes who I am.
For sure.
Now, so I would not change anything. I wouldn't change anything. I'm sorry I stretched that out.
No, I understand, because I understand it gave you a different appreciation for how you ended up here. So you didn't fast track nothing. You didn't cut no corners. You didn't, like, you really didn't lean on anybody. Like, you did all this really out the mud. Like,
yeah, it's definitely out the mud, man. And I would say that when it comes to being a visionary, man, that you have to sum up. My OG Roger Willis from New Beginning Master, and salute to him. Originally from Peoria, Illinois, but kind of in the Chicago area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he would say, I don't live in Chicago. I'm in the suburbs.
I'm in the burbs.
Yeah, he'll laugh if he sees this. But he tells me that everybody is a sum total of their life's experience.
For sure.
And so to me, when I analyze that saying and break that down, it goes back to all things work for the good of those who love God, right? Mm-hmm. God has intentionally set your life up the way that it is, who your parents were when you were born, the situations in that. There are things that happen to make you who you were. There are things that you have went through as Phillip Boyd that have made you the man that you are. And when 100%. That's a different conversation off air.
For sure.
But it makes you who you are. And even in some of those darkest moments, if you take those things away, you are not who you are. Mm-hmm. You are not the father that you are. Mm-hmm. You're not the son, the grandson, the uncle, the brother.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
The friend.
For sure.
The community, homie.
Right.
And to the youngest that you are. And so even some of the worst decisions that I've ever made, even some of the worst things I've been through my life that I can't control, like losing my pops, like losing a grandmother, like friends.
For sure.
I changed none of it.
Not mad at that. Because once you break it down like that, because I know the first thing some people might be like, oh, the worst thing that happened, I wish I had to go through that.
But you're not who you are.
Exactly. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I think people who don't learn, we always say they're not losses, they're not, it's a lesson. That's a cap statement because it is a loss if you don't make it a lesson.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a line on Visionary where I talk about my losses, I made lessons. Right? So just because you go through something bad don't mean it's a lesson.
That's it.
Because some people don't learn from it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I have went through things, and I'm not going to say I like immediately changed.
Right.
And apply what I learned.
Right.
But I went through those things, and they definitely made me better.
For sure.
And I don't care what anybody on the outside thinks about that. See, being a visionary, I don't think people realize how much of the journey plays into crafting into who you are to make you ready for what the path is. I can sit up here and tell you to go start an LLC.
Right.
Let's say if you're a business owner, I could talk about go start your LLC, go get you a mentor, write a business plan, get you an operating agreement, get business insurance, do a SWOT analysis.
So you done lost 80% of people.
I'm just saying I can tell you about writing it down and setting goals and analyzing markets or go to school. We can talk about all of these fundamental things that come with being a visionary, being a leader, executive type stuff. But I think going through the mud and the trenches of life make you more prepared than any
real experience, for sure.
The fundamentals from that will make you ready for the classroom fundamentals.
Yeah, for sure.
Life fundamentals will ground you and build you up.
For sure.
So yeah, man,
for sure. I think I have nothing else for you. Got anything for me?
Nah, man. Visionary drops November 28th.
Black Friday.
Black Friday 2025. Pre-orders coming, man. And I'm excited to present this body of work to people, man.
We got some, I ain't gonna go too far into detail, but we got some cool rollout things.
Yeah.
That were just put a different vibe on how people drop music. Like, we talk about all the time. I don't want to make this too much longer, but we talk about all the time direct to consumer and how it went away, but it's 100% back.
And the independent world will never went away.
For sure.
The major companies have to. It's just like when you look at the last 10. Let's just take the last 10 years of business. Any industry, when COVID happened, companies like Amazon shot up.
Number one.
Because they have took the direct to consumer approach and made it something. Things like DoorDash and Instacart and Uber things Eats. Like that, Uber Eats. They became amplified. Content creation,
for sure,
became amplified. Things like Zoom became more. I want to say for the music world that streaming platforms probably benefited.
Oh, for sure.
Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal.
Oh yeah.
Because if I can't go to a store,
I gotta get it on my.
Yeah. I want to. So content creation, music, podcasting, all of these direct to consumer type of ways. So if you were an independent regular, I mean, Master P was selling out the trunk back in the 90s. Cash Money Records and different people were getting it out the mud that way. So the independent, no matter what the genre is, independent record labels have always known direct to consumer. Because back in the day, you did not get to Walmart without a distribution deal.
That's true.
Right? So the only way, like in the early 2000s, when I went by the Messenger, the only way to get those albums was to go to our website or see us at a show.
Right, yeah.
You wasn't walking in Walmart and getting the Messenger album the day that it came out. So yeah, direct to consumer is, I don't want to say it's coming back, because for the independent grassroots companies, has always been that way. But major companies are having to think like small companies.
Yeah.
Even though they're
billions, but yeah, for sure.
So Sony Music Entertainment and Universal Music Group have to think like Engage Records.
For sure.
On their level.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yep.
So yeah, man. So, but we appreciate y'all, man, tuning in. And Visionary drops November 28th.
Black Friday, while you out, while you doing all your shopping, hit on your phone and buy it. You're going to spend money anyway, you can buy it. You can download it, but we appreciate it if you also bought it.
Yeah, KyrenMonteiro.com and GageRecords.net, man. Coming November 28th, all major platforms, man. Y'all. Salute to my homie Big Phreeza, man. Part of Engage Records, Fight Squad, the movement, and
for sure.
We appreciate y'all, man. Salute.
Salute.